have other two guests make inputs into our conversation on the issue of pensions and gratuities for ex-governors and the deputies, against the background of how Nigerians are reacting to the issue and demanding an end to the practice. Let me welcome very specially Comrade B.S. Kadri, a Labour activist, a Labour leader. Thank you for joining us, Comrade.
Thank you so much.
And just to add, there is also Permanent Secretary, retired Permanent Secretary, but he's not tired because I know he's still very active.
What is the grace working with us?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
We also have with us on the show Dr. Stanley Debbie Igariba, is an author and a public affairs commentator. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me.
Comrade, let me start off with you. The original idea behind a pension scheme is to help those who have served have the opportunity to continue to be able to take care of themselves while they are out of service. But we have seen that now metamorphose into those who have the opportunity to serve at the elective level, governors and their exes, and their deputies, ex-governors and their deputies. And then you also have that, at some point, even members of the State House of Assembly were angling for that. Just give me a brief on that, and what's your take on the reaction that our trade is so far?
Well, Duke, let me thank you for bringing this to the fore. For me, I think there's a misnomer here. The misnomer is that the political class do not consider what is the morality, what was the spirit, what was the content, what was the reason for pension, by the way. The entire idea of pension. Where did it come from? What was the reason for pension? It was not designed for part-timers or short-term people. Don't forget that this current law says, that is a public law, says that minimum 10 years, minimum 10 years.
They're entitled to pension.
Pension.
Okay.
I don't see how a man who spent 4 years wants to now become a pensioner. I don't understand.
No, most times they get to 8 years.
Even 8 years is still not 10 years. And what is even more worrisome is that you can see why the public service is now being challenged. Because this kind of arrangement encourages people to become, to run into politics just because they want to catch public fund. And it does not give the sense of decency. It does not even give comfort to the civil servant or the people who work now. Because they don't see reason why they should work 35 years or 60 years of age and now come out and pension. A man who just spent 4 years and he becomes a pensioner. And then he begins to collect all the money, and their pay is far more than the average civil servant. I'm sure they also collect gratuity. But let me say this without fear of contradiction. That's before now, when the military men were in government, what they were doing, if you leave office as a governor, every 4 years they renew your car.
That was all.
That was all. And that continued. They were saving people. So their career as governor was as military officers.
Okay.
So if you count that together, they serve the number of years of 35 years or thereabout before they retire.
Okay.
And they get their returns.
Okay.
But ironically today, you see that's why it's covered that right today in their country. Young people no longer want to do any work. They don't want to work. Because you're going to politics and then you have pension. And the next thing you get your money.
Okay, let me proceed there. Dr. Stanley, are you concerned with the fact that there is pension for governors and the deputies, or the humongous nature of this pension in terms of the content?
Thank you. I want to say thank you for this opportunity. From the word go, I feel it is ridiculous. It is embarrassing to hear of such in a country where minimum wage is 35,000, and you have some persons who retired since 2014 and they've not been paid till date, and somebody is coming up to say, as I am leaving office, despite what has been accrued to him for the 4 years or his 8 years of being a governor deputy. And now you have a house added to whatever he's being given in Abuja and then and his home state. Let's think about it. He must have gotten it up to 5 houses personally in Abuja. You are adding another one to it, where there is somebody in one corner who cannot get basic drugs. He cannot get basic upkeep. He has not been paid. And at the end of the day, somebody tells you, we'll have to pay sacrifice, we'll have to do this. For me, I don't think it is something that should have been mentioned at all. It's not something anybody should bring to the fore, especially in a country like this where a lot of persons are suffering, and despite what you have received, despite what has been given to you, both legally and illegally, you're coming up with, give me this, give me this. No, it's ridiculous.
Okay, comrade, I'll come to you, Mr. Wagai. The bottom line is this: we are here now with these pensions and gratuities for ex-governors and their deputies. Is there any way there could be a flip? Maybe it is repealed like Abia State House of Assembly has done.
Well, repealing it is for me, is natural because it's abnormal. It's a contradiction to the principles and the philosophy behind pension. And if any parliament knows their owners, they should resist it. Unfortunately, parliamentarians are part of the political class who also want to make themselves benefit from it. So if they have a step, a precedent, they want to lay on that precedent. That's the irony of it. And that is why I think Nigerians begin to think that those we elect to the office are people who have the pedigree to become our leaders. Okay. People who have the character, who have the moral content, who are completely designed for service. Okay. And by their history, they show that they have the pedigree to run service. What we have today is not service people. What we have today are purely merchants who just want to make money and go home. They don't care what happened to the system. It's not about the system. This is just one signal to show that this exactly, like they always say, truth need no rehearsals. A man who starts by the truth, you will know him. It's not by the truth, even if he tells all the sweet story he tells you. After a while, he won't even know when he derailed and going somewhere. You know when a man tells you a story and say, my name is John, and the next thing you see him a few days after, you ask him, what is your name? Say, you know that is a problem. Because already his name is not John. These guys come to the office and tell us sweet stories, and we are carried away by the fantasy and the razzmatazz of their campaign without looking at their history and their moral content. Okay. This is a manifestation of a clear picture of the people you are talking about who want to go to service. I want to appeal to Nigerians of sound mind, Nigerians of clear thoughts, and of decent background to please come to politics. Okay. So we can move these charlatans from political class.
Is that a way of finding a lasting solution?
Yes, it is more sustainable, because no matter what you say now, the same charlatans are in the system. They think on how to circumvent and undermine the system and make the new law. Now you were told them don't go on to pension, they will now go somewhere else and create something else so that they can make it now to cover the gap that was left. So for me, what you require to do is there's a fundamental problem. Yes. And what we call in philosophy, we say there's what we call the causal effect. There's a causation. We're looking at the consequence now, but there's a causation. What is the reason for this consequence? And that causal effect is that we must have men of character, of service, and of commitment to the country.
Right, let me pause you there. Dr. Egareva, let me get your take on finding a way around this issue. Because Mr. Wagai, before you guys came, talked about the fact that this is the conspiracy of the elites. Whether at the level of the National Assembly or at the level of the State House of Assembly and then the executive, they just have a meeting point. There's always a way they meet, and then because now when ex-governors leave, while earning pensions and gratuities from the states where they left, they go to the National Assembly and then they continue with that. I don't know what you make of this.
Like I said earlier, is ridiculous. And it's something that when you mention it, we should be ashamed that we've been degraded to this level, that we could present something of this magnitude. Now, let's look at it. He earns pension as an ex-governor. He gets to the Senate. He earns salary as a senator. And when he leaves, he wants to earn. How many times? From how many places will he earn it? Now, in alignment with what he said earlier, the solution is there has to be a revisit. There has to be a revisit to the root. The way you solve something is you look at the cause of that thing. When a criminal, as it were, gets to certain place, it must show that, oh, this is this person, what's their pedigree? Okay. And again, let's look at, before these persons came, what is the blueprint? What is their vision? Yeah. If my vision for getting power is to ensure that I remove everything that was left before I came, there is no way you do it, whether I do it this way or this way, but I'll make sure that whatever that was there before I came is removed. So there has to be a revisitation to the blueprint before somebody contests as a governor. Yeah. What is his manifesto? Look at Abia State Governor, for instance. When he contested before and he lost that, you see the manifesto. You see that, okay, when I win, give me power, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. It's not copy and paste. So if you have someone who did not copy from other person, because whether you like it or not, if you and I lay hold on power, we will do different things. Yeah. Because
based on our vision,
yes,
and ideology,
we look but see differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way I see is the way I will operate. The way you see is the way you will operate. Absolutely. So whatever they are doing now is what they have premeditated, what they have thought about. That, okay, for a politician, the vision is more money. Either way, anyhow it comes.
But are we all not politicians? Are we all not politicians?
We may all be political animals, but we are not all politicians.
Fantastic. Mr. Wadai, let me get your final take on this. I mean, with the perspective.
They say the same thing.
Yeah.
Before I get to that, one is even a criminal offense for you to be collecting salaries from two sources. Okay. And being getting your pension and at the same time being paid salary as a senator, as a minister, okay, as an offense. But in the absence of the rule of law, they will get away with it. Mm-hmm. So this is why I keep on saying, is the application of the rule of law. We are saying, let us look at, the pedigree. They can come and lie to you, tell you that I'm going to do X, Y, Z, or I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. But once they get there, it's a different ball game. Yeah. So what controls any human being anywhere in the world is the rule of law. There's nobody that is not a criminal, even the white people. Whether you're green, yellow, or black, what controls their behavior
is the rule of law.
Is the rule of law.
And its application.
You are caught,
you face the music.
You face the music. But in our case, if you are caught, you smile. I remember Kayode, who was in the EFCC custody. They took a picture. He was doing like this. I still remember that picture. See, making a mockery of the system. He knows that he's going to get away with it. This is Nigeria. All right. Understand? Okay. So it's like a police officer, a corporal, going to arrest, say, I have an arrest warrant. I want to go and arrest Buhari. It's not possible. But in Israel and other places, it's possible. It is not the corporal that is arresting the former president. It is the state. Yeah. So here, everything that we are all saying is the application of the rule of law. All right. Who is going to
enforce it?
Enforce it. Yeah. That is where the revolution. All right.
This is.
I know we are running out. Please,
yes.
just let me add this.
Yes.
Today I said something. I said there's a fundamental thing we need to do, and that's the causation.
Yeah.
And until you solve that problem, this is all the sort of rule of law. Human being manages the law.
Yeah.
If the human beings are themselves dirty and toxic, what happened? And that's why I'm saying, for us to get this law work, we must look at who are we bringing on board. Where are they coming? What's their history? Yeah. Nigerians must be conscious of who they bring on board, my dear. Yes. Every country have the criminals. Every country have the best.
Exactly.
And it is when you pick the best that makes a country better.
And that's when the rule of law can be applied.
Exactly.
The other way, the law will just be there.
Exactly.
And nothing is happening.
Anarchy will manage the world.
Let me take a look at your book. Yeah. I'm sure this is the last book you published. I was there. Cerebral Grenades is the title of this book, Dr. Stanley Igariba. Congratulations to you. I'm sure this is my copy. Anyways, he's a prolific author, and it's good to have you here on the show today. Thank you so much. Big congratulations to you on this your new book.
You can have it.
All right, thank you. So I told you it's mine. He brought this for me specially, Cerebral Grenades. Okay, we'll be linking you now with Abuja. By the way, big thanks to Mr. Wajai. Thank you for coming. Okay. B.S. Kadi, always a delight. We should have more time.
Thank you.
Dr. Igariba, thank you for coming as well.